Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames. Well, Nintendo finally decided to show off some new Breath of the Wild stuff after months of little to nothing, and not one, but two videos were brought to the Game Awards show, which shortly ended as of the editing of this video. Now, everyone knows I'm the big Zelda guy on the YoVideogames crew, and some of you were probably expecting my thoughts on what was shown. Before we get into the details of this game, you should all know that I hold this series in the highest standard. The Zelda series has the absolute best games of all time, and anytime the series slips or fails to live up to its potential, I am extremely vocal and critical about it. Furthermore, as a person who is interested in more than just the name on the box, but the people behind it, I also expect the best from them, and quite frankly, this is where I am most internally conflicted about Breath of the Wild. The director of this title is Hidemaru Fujibayashi, whose last title was Skyward Sword, a game that fell well short of the standard for the series and brought the franchise to a new low event and story-wise. The producer of the game and series as a whole since Majora's Mask is Eiji Aonuma, a man who I completely lost all respect for at this year's E3 with his comments and mindset regarding player choice and diversity. What I'm getting at here is that with a title that spent the entire life of the Wii U system in development and suffered years of delays, they have a lot to prove to me. I have played this title multiple times at E3, so I already have hands-on experience with it. If you are a Zelda fan who can do nothing but praise the series and expects nothing but praise for it, this is not the video for you. The Zelda franchise does not get a free pass because better, smarter, and much more progressive people in the past made the best games of all time. So with that out of the way, let's get to discussing the footage. We start off with a cloth map retelling of some past events, as in previous titles like Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. We see the symbol of the Sheikah eye crying or bleeding, the drop from the eye splashing onto the ground and creating trees. In the original Zelda canon, the goddess Faror created life on the planet. However, with Fujibayashi's history of reckless disregard for established story, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sheikah's background was changed yet again, to this time having some part in the creation of Hyrule. We then see some weird-headed creatures going about farming the land, which finally cuts to NPC characters walking around the overworld on bridges and towns. This is a welcome sight, as even though they claimed they were removed intentionally at E3, the longer things went on without towns, the more nervous we were all getting. Much more interesting is we see the Hylian NPC characters attacking bokoblins in the field, though I'm skeptical of the performance of the Wii U hardware. We only see a 2v2 fight, so this might be very limited in scope. We next see Link on horseback visiting a traveler's outpost, with the dog following him, followed by the reveal of a town on a hillside. We then see Link with a totally fine Master Sword encountering a new race of bipedal bird people flying to a giant bird-shaped airship in the sky. We saw a giant airship during the E3 build way off in the distance, so seeing it up close is kinda nice. We cut back to the cloth story and see Hyrule Castle with an army of robot crab statues in front of it. Cut to some footage of Link fighting them in real time on horseback. Then we get the most interesting shot in the whole trailer. We see a girl in similar blue clothes to Link holding a Sheikah slab. Her head is cut off, and the easy money is that this is Zelda. Some are speculating that it might in fact be a female Link, as she does have the same hair color, or perhaps that Zelda is also playable in the game. I have mixed feelings on this. With Anuma's ignorant misogyny on full display at E3, it would be great if he has had a change of heart since, though with how defensive and forgiving Nintendo fans are, I doubt it. He could have been intentionally lying all along to surprise us, which would only serve to make him look pretty stupid by coming off the way he did. A playable Zelda would be awesome too, though it would force Anuma to think of something for Link to do, which he made seem like something beyond his capacity. Or maybe it's a third character altogether that may or may not be playable. A Linkle, if you will. My money is that it might be Zelda, but she is definitely not going to be playable. She will be a plot device and little else. That's what I've come to expect from this team. Next, we see Hyrule Castle surrounded by the black and red energy that made up the Calamity Ganon at E3. Then we get a shot of the fountain from Hyrule Castle Town in ruins. The interesting thing is to note is that this is the castle and castle town that directly resemble the one in Twilight Princess. I won't say this confirms taking place in Timeline B, as the game features Koroks from Timeline C, a less ruined Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time, and Hylia statues from Skyward Sword. In short, I expect more fuckery from Fujibayashi. We then see Link with glowing shit all over him, in what appears to be the ruins of Hyrule Castle Town, and something specifically hidden off-screen to the left side. Finally, we see Link kneeling next to a female figure on the side that was definitely not wearing the same clothes as the girl from before. This is almost guaranteed to be Zelda, and whether it's the same girl as before in different clothes, we'll have to wait. It's probably yes. The second footage we saw was Nate and Bill playing the game on the Wii U. Why the Wii U is beyond me. As someone who bought the Wii U on launch day, in particular for this game, I still say it's getting real fucking annoying not seeing it on the Switch. We see Link talk to Cass, one of the aforementioned new bird people, who plays the trailer music on his accordion and sends Link in the direction of a shrine. Nate and Bill were careful to call it a shrine and not a dungeon, but there is some hope that it might have been a real-ass dungeon. The area in this demo was called the Zonai region, and it's the tropical area teased in the E3 trailer. Naturally, the area is teeming with Lizzafoals, including the 2 camouflage warriors in front of the shrine's entrance. The shrine here is inside a carving of a giant serpent's head, and the back of the cave showed a glowing Hylia statue. This is all different from the shrines we saw at E3, and leaves me with some small hope that there will be actual dungeons in the main game. As for the gameplay, some expressed excitement in how much damage Link was taking from a full hit from a Lizzafoals, but if you've played Man Mode on Twilight Princess HD, this isn't that new. Also, I have to stress that even though the Moblin walked around the bomb, the game still looks piss easy, especially in today's gaming climate of Blood Souls games. Also, I have to stress that this game ran like a horse's ass frame rate wise. Graphically, the second footage looked like someone smeared pea soup all over the screen. I kept thinking that maybe it was a jungle fog effect, but even if that is true, it was a shitty fog effect. This is in stark contrast to the first trailer, which was much more clear and vibrant. This could be a result of the capture equipment Nintendo used, or the fact that it was running on the Wii U build of the game, for fuck knows what reason. Either way, it's convinced me I am not getting the Wii U version of this game. You want proof? Just look at the frame rate when Link is selecting food from the menu versus the frame rate when fighting enemies. It's god fucking awful, especially when played alongside other open world games such as Mass Effect Andromeda. Breath of the Wild is going to need to have a significant visual and performance boost on the Switch come fucking June 2017. This leads me to question if the real reason for the delay is the optimization problems that seem to be plaguing this game, which didn't run well at E3 and honestly seems to be performing worse in this new environment. Either way, I am still excited to just dick around in this world, especially since Monolith Soft have been pulled in to help. I have no real hopes for the story, and I'm still very concerned about dungeons and puzzles, but at worst, we get an awesome playground to play in. At least I hope it runs well on Switch. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the channel. Later, dudes!